the National Rifle Association. One of the first actions taken by the leadership, if you can call them that, in New Orleans after the aftermath of Katrina was to collect people's guns. These were not Saturday night specials being carried by criminals. These were legal guns owned by law-abiding citizens. Tragically, in hindsight, we now see that personal protection was wildly necessary in Katrina's wake in New Orleans. So while nobody is collecting the guns, nor do I think they're going to in Malibu or San Diego, we have to ask the question, when faced with a national disaster on a grand scale, how safe is your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms? Wayne LaPierre is the Executive Vice President for the National Rifle Association. Wayne, it is great to have you here. Just a full disclosure, I am a lifetime member. I think I'm a lifetime member. I know I'm a member. If I haven't become one yet, I will be soon. Tell me the story, Wayne, in Katrina. How did this come about? How did it happen? How did they do it?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, Glenn. It was the largest seizure of firearms since British General Gates seized firearms from the colonists up in Boston in 1775. What happened is, after that hurricane, when there was no police protection at all, complete breakdown, the mayor and the police chief went on TV, did a press conference and said, we're going to confiscate all firearms in the city.
Why was there no media attention on this?
The media buried this story because we've been saying for years, you better stand up for your freedoms. And your freedom's only as good as you standing up for it. And the other side kept saying, oh, no one would ever take your firearm. The NRA is just crying wolf. What happened in New Orleans is they went into law-abiding people's homes all over that city, that they took their firearms, often at gunpoint, and the rank-and-file law enforcement guys were horrified at what they were ordered to do. They left those people completely defenseless against the bad guys.
Okay, Wayne, let me come with me on the crazy town train for just a second. I hope I am completely wrong on this, but there is a part of me that says we are one big event away from somebody in office saying, we got to take them all away, especially if they're people that we have elected that don't like guns in the first place. We are also the possibility of, and you'll see later on in the show, there are people who are talking secession. There are Timothy McVeighs out there that could also be an event that would cause the government to say, time to take the guns from the people. Is that crazy to think that?
No, I mean, there's a lot of some politicians in the United States have this Dianne Feinstein said, if I go door to door and pick them all up, I would. The United Nations has a policy where they believe only the government should have firearms. They believe individuals should not be entitled to self-defense.
So if we go in and we sign these treaties that we're talking about, I mean, that are sitting in Congress right now, we sign these international treaties, and we start to see that our Supreme Court says that these treaties can overturn our own Constitution, we lose our Second Amendment to the UN.
Yeah, I mean, the Constitution trumps any UN treaty, but the issue is you've got to have the Supreme Court say very clearly that the Second Amendment's an individual right. And so, I mean, we need to be very vigilant in this area. I mean, you know, the UN philosophy of give the governments the guns hasn't worked out very well if you look at the last century. Look at the killing fields of Uganda, Rwanda, the old Soviet Union, China, Iraq gassing the Kurds, Iran.
Germany.
I mean, Germany. I mean, this idea that the government gets all the guns has not worked out well for the people. And the difference is, here in the U.S., our sovereign is the individual.
Okay.
With the UN, theirs is the government.
I know. It's we the people here. It's supposed to be.
Exactly.
I went to my firing range. It's Forest Field in Connecticut, and I'm firing. I'm talking to the guys there this weekend, and they said, "Did you hear what Schwarzenegger did?" And I hadn't heard it. I hadn't paid attention to it. It is actually now going to imprint a number on the casing. Which it's my understanding that A, it can't be done. I think this sounds to me like, again, a member of the Kennedy family trying to get gun manufacturers just to say, you know what, I'm not going to make any guns for California. And the bad guys would just file the numbering system on as the hammer would strike that casing, right?
It is a ridiculous idea. The technology is not there to do it. It would take police resources off the street. They're trying to impose a cradle-to-grave regulatory system that doesn't work on the law-abiding, and can be as easily evaded as any criminal's common sense. And
all you have to use is a revolver.
Yeah, a revolver evades it. You can file it off. You can throw it in a lake. You can. I mean, criminals change license plates all the time. This is a joke, and we need to stop it in every other state.
Wayne, thank you very much.
Thanks, Glenn.
Coming up, we are a nation founded